And there we are. Good night, everyone that's joining me. Thank you to all of my Facebook family, all of my YouTube family, wisdom seekers. Welcome. We are here. Murphy's Law. Let's apply wisdom. And so I'm excited. It's 11 p.m. every Wednesday night at 11 p.m. Right, Eastern Standard Time every Wednesday night. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. So thank you for everyone that's listening to this wherever you may stream your podcasts, whether it be Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. Thank you for subscribing. Let's get some preliminaries out of the way and then we can jump into our discussion for tonight. I want to hear and see for my live audience. I want to see and hear your comments. I want to know what you think. We got a great topic tonight. But first, Murphy's Law Podcast is brought to you in partnership with BOJ Clothing. It's a faith based clothing. So go over to www.bojclothing.com. Go and look at the site. Hoodies, sweatshirts, hats, free because of Jesus. Love everybody because of Jesus. We bigging up Jesus. That's what's happening. As you are joining on Facebook Live, on YouTube Live, please share. If you're on Facebook, please share it and let others know that you are tuning into the Murphy's Law podcast. And I have really, really exciting news. It's big, and I think we should all celebrate it together. So, at the beginning of this season, I had 15 subscribers on YouTube. Now we're up to 18 subscribers. So, we've added 3 more people to the subscription on YouTube. Thank you. That's cause for celebration. I value it. So we got 18 people that's in this or on this journey together. I appreciate you. If you have not yet subscribed on YouTube, and this is how I'm asking you to help me. Subscribe on YouTube, www.youtube.com/at Murphy's Law Podcast. And then, of course, follow us on Instagram, Murphy's Law _podcast, and of course, the Facebook family. All right. So that's the preliminaries. Tonight, we got a really important topic, big topic. Everybody's always interested in this. And tonight, we're talking about love. What is love? And so let's jump right in the pool or the hot tub, whichever you prefer. Get your late night snack if you have one. Let it be a fruit, not any chips or anything, right? We want to promote healthy living. So let's talk about what is love? What is this thing called love? And as we start, I want to ask you some questions and I want you to think about it. My live audience, you can even respond to some of these questions as we dive into this love talk. And just so you know, we're going to be here for a few weeks because there's so many aspects to love, and the depths of love goes deep, and it's necessary for all our relationships. It's the foundation. Now we need more than love. There's so many things that come from love: communication, sacrifice, and we're going to get to all of that, but we need love. That needs to be the foundation. All right. So here's the first question that I want to ask you. The first question I have for you is, who taught you how to love? Think about that. Did anybody teach you how to love? Who taught you how to love? Who taught you how to give love? Where did you learn that from? Or did you even learn that? Did you just come up with that on your own? Or did you do it by observation? Nobody ever sat you down and talked to you about love. So who taught you how to give love? And then secondly, who taught you how to receive love? One of the greatest things that I have learned, and even myself had difficulty with in previous years is knowing how to receive true love. Good night to Carmisha Irons. I love you. Good night to my mentor and the best psychologist. And you all really, you should go check him out for real. Okay. Reveal Counseling Center. And that is none other than Dr. T.D. McNutt. I'm really serious. He is an amazing psychologist and therapist and counselor, amongst so much more things. But who taught you how to receive love? I had difficulty receiving love, and we'll go into that. And then thirdly, think about this one. Who taught you the boundaries of love? Did you know about love comes with structure, comes with boundaries, measurements, if you will, do's, don'ts. So who is the person? Who are the individuals that taught you how to give love, how to receive love, and the boundaries of love? Because, spouses, husbands and wives, you don't love your spouse in the same way that you love your children. You don't love your children in the same way that you love your parents or you love a friend. So, who has taught you the boundaries of love? And I promise you all of these questions are important. All of them. But let's establish this, because we live in a world, we live in a society where everybody has their own definition. They have their own idea of what love is, depending on where you come from, where in the world. It may depend on your ethnicity. You may be from the islands, you may be African American, you may be European, you may be South American, you may be from Central America, you may be Asian. Everybody has a different definition of love. And there is a problem with that. Well, why is there a problem with that? Well, consider this. Think about this. Everywhere in the world that you go, red means the same thing. If you see a sign and you see red or you see X, you know that means stop. You know that means don't go. I don't care if it's in English, if you're in an English speaking country, French, Dutch, Chinese, Mandarin, doesn't matter, Spanish, Portuguese. Red means stop. Green means go. So universally, everywhere in the world we go, we understand and we have a baseline. We have a foundation for what red is and for what green is and what those boundaries are. You see red, stop. Because if you don't stop, danger might be ahead. You might put yourself and others at harm. Green means go. But when it comes on to love, everybody has their own definition, their own idea, their own construct of love. And if we consider that truth, because that is true, then we can understand why we have so many dysfunctional relationships, why we have so many people that are bruised, that are damaged in the name of love. So, for our purposes, and you understand that the Murphy's Law podcast is a faith based podcast, and we're only bigging up Jesus, we're only lifting up Jesus, and we only apply godly wisdom to every topic that we talk about, and we talk about everything. Nothing is taboo here, nothing is off limits. We talk about it all. However, our baseline, our foundation, it stems from Jesus. It stems from God's word. It stems from godly wisdom. So for us to establish this discussion, everything that you're going to hear me say, you don't have to take my word for it. There is references, and there is research that you can go and do to make sure that this guy that you're listening to, Stephen Murphy, is not just coming up with this stuff off the top of his head, what he thinks, his own experiences, because those are limited, right? Those experiences that I have are limited. I haven't been through everything. So to base my entire truth construct on my own experience is a very dangerous thing to do. And many people do that when it comes on to love. I determine what love is, what love isn't, based on my experiences, based on what happened good, based on what happened bad. And if you have limited experience, then that's dangerous, because what about all the other people that have never experienced what you have experienced, or they have experienced more than you have experienced? So we can't use our experiences as a baseline. We shouldn't. Therefore, God's principles, God's wisdom is what you're going to hear at the Murphy's Law podcast. So everything that you're going to hear tonight, it comes from his mind, his principles, his word, the Bible. You can go back and research it for yourself, and you don't have to take nothing that I'm saying just at face value. You can go research it, and you should. But what I do encourage you to be is open-minded, because you may hear something tonight that you've never heard before. You may hear something tonight that you're like, oh man, this guy is off his rocker. I know it may sound unfamiliar, sound different, sound strange, but be open-minded and then go back and truth check me. So here's the first thing that we got to establish about love. Love is not conditional. What most people deem to be love and say is love is really control. When you are in a position where you're only going to give me certain advances, or let's just use the word love, because of what I can do or how I'm pleasing you, that's conditional. And I must tell you that love is not condition based. Love really isn't even performance based. When I truly love you how I should, according to a godly standard, then it really doesn't matter on your performance. If you have a bad day, if you have a bad week, if you have a bad month, I should still receive your love, or I should still be in a position to give love. So, love that is conditional is not love at all. It's really controlling, because now I know that whatever I receive from you is based upon the show that I give. And so, if I want to get some love and if I want to get some attention, then I know I have to do this. I have to go there. I have to be this way. And that's not love. That's control. And if you take a minute and just think about your relationships in the past, maybe some you have now, think about and ask yourself, do I function that way? Do I treat people, or do I love conditionally? Because if I don't get my own way, if I don't get what I want, if it don't happens when I want, how I want, then I'm going to treat you different. Then I'm going to isolate. Then I'm going to cut myself off. Then I'm going to shut down. Then I'm going to, the list goes on and on and on. That's control. Because what's happening in that scenario is you are behaving a certain way or changing your behavior so that you can bring back what you want or you can bring about what you want. And that's conditional. And love just is not conditional. Love is not controlling. Love is not forceful. One of the greatest things that I had to learn is that I cannot make anybody love me. And by nature and who I am, my makeup, I'm a lover. I love everything about love. I love the sacrifice that comes with love. I love the work. I love the emotions that come with it. The the ups and the I love everything about love. But I had to learn and learn real fast that I can't make anybody love me. I can't make anybody choose me. Love is not forceful. Well, you might say, "Well, I never made anybody choose me. I never told anybody to pick me." Well, let's look into that. Did your behaviors change? Did your communication change? Did you shut down? Did you become mean? Did you become short, dry, cold? If any of these things happen, then you got to raise your hand and say, "Okay, I'm guilty." It's not forceful. And you don't stop loving because an individual doesn't choose you. Yeah, I know. It sounds like, wait, hold on. They got the upper hand. Well, love comes with risks. At no point in time can you be in any relationship where love is involved and there's not an element of risk. So here's what has happened. What's happened is there's been really a lot of whew, control, man. There's been a lot of people that have had the wrong expectations about love. And this can happen when you're not taught love. You got to be taught how to love. You got to be taught how to receive love. These are environments that we need from babies, infants, because all of these experiences, whether we get the proper type of love or not, it shapes us. It shapes our perceptions and our perspectives. And so we grow up having the wrong expectations. Joanna Smith, one of the live uh, audience members, she says she's guilty. She switched up her attitude. And that's control. That's not love. If you have to force somebody, if you have to put somebody in a position to do something against their will, that's not love. They must be free to choose you. They must be free to say, I pick you. And guess what? You must be willing and patient enough to wait until they do. Now, I'm going to get into more specifics. I'm just laying a foundation. We're going to be talking about this for some weeks. I'm going to have guests on, males, females. We're going to talk about different aspects of love, parentally, even. So I'm laying a foundation. It's a lot for us to get into. But these are things that are important for us to understand. One of the best things you can do in life, I believe, is always be open to learn. If you are an individual that's only had dysfunctional or toxic relationships, any type, I don't care what type of relationship it is, it's going to be very hard for you or very unfamiliar or strange to you to now come into environments that are healthy, that are wholesome for you, and you are receiving love, and you're not going to really know, or it can be or put you in a position where you don't really know how to receive that and deal with that. And because of that, you go, well, no, that's not love, because that's not what I'm used to, and this is what I think love should be. So love is not forceful. Love is not about manipulating. And so here's the thing about manipulations. This is why we got to be careful, especially when we say we love people. I've learned that, in any type of relationship, but you want to be very careful of how you approach another individual. If you are having some type of difficulty in your relationship, and somebody might be in a position where they're saying, you know what, I don't know if I want to be friends with you. I don't know if I want to be your fiance. I don't know if I want to be your significant other. Whatever it is, you have to be very careful with how you approach them. So you may be somebody that likes to give gifts, and they may be an individual or person that loves to get gifts. They love to receive gifts. That's their thing. Buy me a gift, get me some cologne, get me some clothes, you name it. But when you are in a position and there's some turbulence and difficulty, you may have to refrain and wait and give them the space, be patient, because you don't want now you purchasing those gifts to look like it's manipulation. Well, I know you like gifts, so I know you up in the air about our friendship or our relationship, so I'm gonna buy you 10 gifts and give it to you. Well, now it looks sketchy. And you may be pure in your motive, but it can look bad. And so wisdom, which has to be applied in love, will say, let me wait. Let me wait until they've come to more clarity or they've made a decision, because love is not trying to influence you improperly. Love is not using perverted influence. You must choose me because you want to choose me. You must choose a friendship because you want to choose a friendship. The relationship because you want to choose the relationship. So it's not forceful, and we have to think of all the ways, we have to be mindful of all the ways to say, okay, is this me being forceful? Is this me being manipulative? Is this going to come off manipulative? Love is about the other person. This is why it's important for us to love each other, because we love for the individual. So love is about me giving you everything and you giving me everything. And so when we love properly, I'm going to get what I'm supposed to get, and you're going to get what you're supposed to get. So let's be mindful of those manipulative and sneaky tones in our relationships. And when you talk about loving somebody, okay, well, this is a big thing, you know, um, secrets. Love don't keep secrets. Again, you're listening to the Murphy's Law podcast. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate all of your support and your presence. It matters and I value it. And I don't want to hide that from you. It's not a secret. Yeah, love don't keep secrets. Now I hear somebody saying, well, what if I want to surprise them? And what if I want to do something special for them? So let's clear it up a little bit more. The motive behind you withholding information matters. So if I'm planning a surprise party for my sons or for my mom, this year we me and my siblings, we did a surprise party for our mom, and there's certain things we didn't tell her because we wanted it to be a surprise, but we withheld the information because we wanted to do something for her benefit, which is completely different from keeping secrets that's going to bring damage and harm to the relationship and break trust. It's very different when you are in a timeline. Okay, I'm withholding this until March 5th because March 5th is when the party is going to happen. But if you're now just keeping secrets because I'm going to take this to my grave, that's not love. Love don't keep secrets. One of the biggest things that destroy relationships, any type of relationship. Think about all the types of relationship there are. One of the things that destroy relationships is secrecy, is hiding stuff. You know how many children have grown up upset at their parents, hating their parents, not liking their parents because of hidden secrets? Do you know how many friendships have been destroyed because of secrets? Do you know how many marriages have been destroyed because of secrets? So love, which is supposed to provide environments of safety, of peace, of openness, you can't keep secrets and say you love someone. And it doesn't matter what you were used to previously. Again, our standard comes from the word of God, comes from the Bible, comes from the standards of God. So whatever you did before that don't line up with that, I would encourage you to adjust. And again, you don't have to take my word for it. You can go and research it, look it up. But love don't keep secrets. I always am thinking of you, what's best for you. So love is selfless, it's not selfish. If you're always thinking about you, if you're always thinking about what you can get, what you want, how you can get it, how you can achieve it, how you can attain it, me, me, you're selfish. Love is not selfish. And you would be amazed, or maybe you wouldn't be, but it's amazing to know how many people have a very selfish view of relationship and what they think love is. Now, let me say this. Love is going to come with pain. In love, you're going to experience pain one way or the other. Now, it could be a good pain, and there are good pains. I'll give you an example, practical example. When your child does something wrong, for those of us that are parents, or we may be an aunt or uncle, our niece or nephew, they do something wrong, we set boundaries, right? And they may not like it, and it may be painful to them. It might hurt their feelings, their whatever. They may not like it. Whether it be you disciplining in oh, disciplining them. That discipline word was giving me issues a while ago. But whether you are disciplining them however you are, it's going to bring pain to them, whether it's physically or emotionally, right? But you love them, right? You love your child, you love your niece, you love your I'm sorry, you love your nephew. So there's good pain that comes with love. So when you and I love each other, there's sometimes there may be a situation where you may not get what you want. I can't give you what you want because what you want may not be good for you for whatever reason, and it may hurt you. It may disappoint you even. But because that's happening, that does not mean I don't love you. So the expectation that when you love and you open up yourself to love, that you'll never experience pain, that's a wrong expectation. And what usually happens is people experience pain and then they shut all the way down because they go, well, this is not supposed to happen. You're supposed to just do what I want. You're supposed to just give me what I want. It's just supposed to be about me. And it is about you in love. But again, as I said earlier, there are boundaries, there are limitations. So it's going to come with some pain. And some of that is good pain. And guess what? Can I be really honest with you? I'll tell you how I approach love and how I think of it because of what I'm convicted by through God's principles. I go into every relationship saying, no matter what happens, whatever is the worst thing that could happen, I'm going to be open. I'm going to love and I'm going to forgive. So with love comes forgiveness. Yes. So I was having a conversation the other day and somebody said, well, I have deal breakers. And I was like, well, I don't have deal breakers. I know it sounds strange, right? I know it don't sound normal. Well, maybe to some people. Because it's like, wait, the other person has the advantage. The other person has the upper hand. Well, when you love like God wants you to love, it's about being selfless. Now, as the weeks go on, we're going to talk about more specifically the boundaries, the limitations, and how we navigate that and how we do it in a healthy way. But it is important to know that when you go into a relationship and when I go into relationships, I don't have deal breakers. I love you and I'm patient with you until you get it together. I may have to adjust my expectations to protect my emotions, but adjusting my expectations don't mean that I stop loving you. You may be in a wrong mindset or have a bad behavior or have a character flaw that you are really taking a long time to grow out of, or immaturity that you're just not letting go of. And so I may have to adjust my expectations because I understand that right now you are in an immature place. You're in an immature mindset. I have to adjust my expectations, but my love doesn't dissipate. My love doesn't disappear. My children, I have sons, and congratulations to my sons and their baseball team, the Kings. They won their baseball game tonight, their championship game, so they're going to the next round. So congratulations to all of you. I'm proud of you, Caleb and David. One day in the future, you'll listen to this. It'll be on the internet. But I have sons, and they're very mature for their age. They are 11. They're going to be 12 this year, and sometimes I gotta go, okay, they're 11. Gotta adjust my expectations, but my love doesn't disappear. So this is a foundation tonight about what love is. And we're going to take all of these things that what love is and love isn't, and we're going to see how they function within the scope of our relationships, romantically, parentally, in friendships, and so on. Because in every type of relationship, love matters, but the way in which you give love or express that love must be adjusted depending on the type of relationship. So, to repeat what I said at the beginning of the podcast, husbands, you don't love your wives the same way as your child or children. So, that's an example. So, tonight we are readjusting and have readjusted the scope, the foundation, the parameters by which we look at love, the lens through which we look at love. We don't determine what love is based on our experiences because those are limited, good or bad, those are limited. We don't determine what love is or isn't based on our trauma. That's dangerous. We don't determine what love is or isn't based on anyone's opinion. Opinion is not truth. An opinion very often can be biased and is rooted and constructed from someone's preference. So, what you want to do and what we are doing here is we're establishing love, what it is, what it isn't, based on truth. And for us here and for me, God's principles, God's wisdom is truth. If you're married, if you're single, if you're a parent, if you have a sibling, if you have friends, I encourage you to stick around for the next few weeks because we're going to do a deep dive, an extensive discussion on love. What is love? Now, here's what's going to happen. For those of us that really take a hold of this and apply it, our relationships will get better. But first, before our relationships get better, let me tell you who's going to get better. You. Let me tell you who's going to change. You. Let me tell you who's going to be more healthy. You. And because you are a contribution to every relationship, the healthier you are, is the better the relationship is going to be. The healthier you are, is more life that's going to come to the relationship, whatever type of relationship that is. So let's get ready to do it. Let's apply wisdom. Tag somebody, tell somebody about it. If you have not yet subscribed on YouTube, I'm asking you to go to YouTube, Murphy's Law Podcast, at Murphy's Law Podcast, and subscribe. Okay, we're at 18. I'm excited for it, and we're going to get to more. All right, more subscribers. That's all we're going to talk about for tonight. We're going to go through this, and I'm excited about it. I'm excited about it. Love is necessary, it's vital to our well-being, to our length of life, even how long we live, how productive we live. Love is very intricate and vital to every part of who we are. And from love grows so many other things: healthy communication, healthy interactions, sacrifice, commitment. All of that stems and comes from love. So we're going to do it. Thank you all for tuning in to the Murphy's Law Podcast. I appreciate every single one of you that take the time out to be here with me. Join me again next week, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 p.m. Pacific. If you're on the West Coast, and no, 8 p.m. What am I saying? And then it'll be 9 p.m. on Central Standard Time. So to all of my friends on the West Coast, Phoenix, Arizona, Onika, thank you, Joanna, Latanya, Dr. McNutt, Carmisha, the live audience tonight. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for lending your love and your support by your presence being here. That's love. Thank you for all of all of you that subscribe on YouTube. Thank you for all of you that subscribe on the different various platforms that there are. Thank you. I appreciate it. I would love if you would share this with somebody. Tell somebody about the podcast. We're talking about relationships. We're talking about family. We're talking about each other, or we're talking about ourselves getting better and making sure that we are contributing the way we should in our communities, in our families, in our relationships, in our own lives. We are responsible for that, and we're getting better together. And I want to help as many people as I should and as I can. And you can help me by doing that. Until next week, we're talking about love some more. I'll tell you. All right, I won't keep it a cliffhanger. Next week, we're going to talk about parents and children. That's how we're going to approach love. Okay? So get ready to all the parents out there. And if you want to be a parent, it's good to listen. Or if you're a parent type, I'm telling you, you want to join in, you want to listen, you want to take notes if you need to, but it's going to be good. So until next week, I love you all. Continue to apply wisdom. We're wisdom seekers, and I appreciate all of you. Good night. Have a great night, and all of you rest well.